Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today, and we are talking about this wide receiver core of the Cowboys, and in particular, an individual in this wide receiver core that has been struggling ever so mightily, and even that might be an understatement. And that's Michael Gallup. And him alone and his struggles are not the reason why I'm making this video. It's the maneuvers the Cowboys are doing on the field and off the field that are giving me vibes of maybe Michael Gallup's time with the Cowboys could be done after this season. So let's start with the off the field stuff, because really it's just one thing that happened, but it's still a big domino here, and that is Martavis Bryant being signed by the Cowboys to their practice squad. Former Pittsburgh Steeler, former Oakland Raider. Listen, he's been out of the league since 2018. He's 31 years old. The reason why he's been out of the league is due to consistent marijuana use. Listen, if you know me, I really don't give a damn about that, but unfortunately the league had other things in mind. Just got reinstated, had a workout with the Cowboys, and here he is. Now, you might be saying at face value, Space, why the fuck would Gallup need to be worried about some nobody that's coming out of nowhere and is on our practice squad? Well, it has to deal with the fact of what the Cowboys are looking to do with Martavis Bryant, and there are rumors circulating that the Cowboys want to use him at some point this season with the offense. We don't know how big of a role that's going to be. To me, I'm not expecting anything more than wide receiver 5, maybe wide receiver 4 reps if he does get that, you know, because right now Jalen Brooks is on your active roster. I wouldn't be shocked if Martavis Bryant, if he continues to impress the Cowboys inside the facility through practices and all that other stuff, maybe, just maybe, he gets moved up earlier than later. But either way, there is that rumor floating around, and if he does get playing time, that's one big domino to fall. But really, most of it is on the field stuff as well. The biggest glaring thing, Michael Gallup looks terrible. I'm sorry. Like, listen, I'm rooting for everybody on this Cowboys team, but we just have to call it how we see it. He just doesn't look good, man. I mean, ever since he signed that extension, 5-year extension, $57.5 million. Now, again, that's not how much is being attributed to the cap. I get that. But next year, that's when you're starting to see his cap hit the teens. Now, with that, amount of money that you're putting towards him, that's wide receiver 2 level money, right? And he's not produced like a wide receiver 2 at all since he signed the extension. It's come back from the ACL tear he suffered at the tail end of the 2021 season. Here are his stats from right now, the last season, and currently where we're at. 2022, 14 games played, 39 receptions, 424 yards, and 4 touchdown receptions. And this year, halfway, 8 games, 22 receptions, 243 yards, and a goose egg for touchdowns, 0. And this dude has not looked good. When he has been given the easiest opportunities to catch the football, he drops them. It looks like he's lazy or is not confident in his route running. It's like his explosiveness is gone, which made him a very dangerous player, and one of the reasons why the Cowboys thought, hey, listen, if this dude recovers, we'll be A-okay. But, and I hate mentioning this because people get so annoyed when I talk about it. You chose him over Amari Cooper. You didn't have to do that. You could have kept both of them because you could have manipulated the cap a certain way, but don't get me started. But what bothers me so much is that it feels like Michael Gallup is trying so hard, or rather trying to get through this mental block that he has from recovering from the ACL injury, and he hasn't. And I looked back at the All-22, and I would watch the games again to see where we were, what was the importance of the moment we were in, and when Michael Gallup's name was called upon, did he do anything? And most of the time, he wasn't able to do anything. And it sucks to say that. You know, I've been rooting for this guy ever since he came back from injury in hopes that maybe he can return to form. He hasn't. And now you're seeing guys like Jalen Tolbert step up and Jake Ferguson take over some targets and provide you some oomph on offense. I understand that Jake Ferguson is a tight end, and I get it. He's not in this wide receiver core, but he is a receiving threat that you need to feed targets to now. Jalen Tolbert, when his name was called upon, he delivered. You know, I get it that in the 4th and 8 situation, he didn't come up with the catch, even though it looked like pass interference or defensive holding, however you want to look at it, but that's besides the point. Jalen Tolbert has shown up while Michael Gallup has not. And as a result, you need to make the call. You have options. It's not like the Terrence Steele situation, which we'll talk about at a later date, where you have limited options and really you don't have any maneuver to, make a change. In this case, you do. Yes, you got CeeDee Lamb. Yes, you got Brandon Cooks, which you should be trying to get him the ball more, but it is what it is, But you can't be giving Michael Gallup wide receiver 3 reps. They will continue to do so because he's getting paid the money. But if it's in the Cowboys' best interest, they need to tell Michael Gallup that he needs to step up his game or he's just going to end up being a wide receiver 5 at this point. You're seeing better snaps out of Kevontae Turpin. You're seeing better snaps, way better snaps, out of Jalen Tolbert. And, of course, I don't have to speak for Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb because they're doing their thing, even though Brandon Cooks hasn't been given the ball a whole lot. Jake Ferguson's been coming about, so Gallup, you need to get shit figured out because the combination of them signing Martavis Bryant, you not playing well, Jalen Tolbert shining when he's been called upon. It's only a matter of time, dude, and what irritates the hell out of me, that freaking Amari Cooper trade, man, it's because of that makes this thing even more, and we might have to draft a receiver next year. You just might, and you might say, well, Space, what are the repercussions for cutting Michael Gallup next year? Now, you can get out of his contract next year as I pull up the details. So, technically, 2024 is the opt-out year for the Dallas Cowboys in this sense. If the Cowboys release him before June 1st, you have a $13 million dead cap hit, but it's done after that. However, if you do release him post June 1st, you would get, after dead cap hit and the cap savings, about $5 million in cap savings. And I think you have to cut him or designate him as a cut 5 days into the next league year to avoid having that part of his salary guaranteed. But then you would have a dead cap hit of $8 million next year. And when I say next year, I mean 2025. So there is that. And it's not the end of the world for the Cowboys. However, by making such a move, you would need to do other things to open up some cap space, which they can do. But that's why I think the writing is starting to see itself on the wall for Michael Gallup. I mean, dude, they signed someone to come in here and look to get meaningful stats at some point based off of what I've been hearing and what's been said. You have a, second-year guy in Jalen Tolbert who's been showing up and showing out. Brandon Cooks, when his name was called upon, he showed up. CeeDee Lamb's just been CeeDee Lamb. He's just been dominating. But when you were called upon, you never showed up. In fact, you should have caught a pass, against the Chargers. You should have caught that pass versus the Eagles because that changes the complexion of that game. It's moments like that that can affect you as a team, win or loss. And I get it that not everybody's perfect, and I'm not trying to sit here and say that, Michael Gallup has to play. No, you just got to play better, dude. If you're not going to play better, you're out of here. They're going to keep playing you, but if you keep up the trend, you're not going to be a Dallas Cowboy after this year. It is what it is. The Cowboys like their guys, but I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing Michael Gallup get thrusted into wide receiver 4. And I'm telling you right now, if you run into a position where Martavis Bryant gets called up and he's getting more snaps over Gallup, dude, sorry. I mean, dude, what infuriates me so much is that the one game where we really called his name was the Chargers. And he didn't show up at all, really. And I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm really trying to find ways. How can we help Michael Gallup stay on this team? He ain't doing us any favors. So I'm going to just leave it at that, guys. Tell me down below what you think. Do you think that Michael Gallup's on this team next year? Do you think I'm being too harsh? Please tell me down below, and let's have a dialogue about that. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.